All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll call the meeting of the Polk County Conference Board to order, and we'll begin with roll call.
Let's start with the supervisors. Holm. Altringer. Conley. Hawkinsmith. Here. McCoy.
Here.
With the mayors, Cramey, O'Connor, Bentz, Elrod, Merrifield, Edwards, Boson, Kaknorinsky, James, Michelson, Derenfeld, Troball, Phillips, Karofsky, Karzin, Lindquist, Anderson, Andewig.
Here.
Trimble, Jones.
Action.
Wait a minute, I got school board yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the girl's name in the middle? Stephanie Gott.
Here.
Vandahar. Carpenter. Norris.
Here.
Chamberlain. Borman.
Here.
Christensen. Ernst. Kent. Montoya Starr. Brandt. So we have a quorum.
Okay. Item 3, action on the minutes of the previous meeting, February 25th. Roll call. Or all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Same sign? Okay. At this point, we'll enter into a public hearing on the proposed budget for the Polk County Assessor's Office for fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, as approved by the Polk County Conference Board on February 25th, 2025. Entertain any comments or it's proof of publication on file.
Yes.
Is there any public comments at this time? Should be, yeah, what was?
I think once you close the public hearing, then you guys can do what you want to do, negotiate or whatever, make a motion. The budget was as we presented last month on the 25th of February. Nothing's changed yet on that.
So I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time, and
And can you make sure we can hear all the comments, please? It's a little bit difficult to hear.
Sure.
Thanks so much.
So we are closing the public hearing at this time, and we'll ask for a motion. All those in favor will say aye. Opposed? Same sign. Mark, second. And we've closed the hearing, and so at this time we would discuss adoption of the consolidated budget for the Polk County Assessor's Office for fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026. And I would ask for a motion to adopt the budget as presented. I'm sorry, what was? We can have discussion at this time if there's discussion.
Thanks. I think everybody's met with Randy, and my point I want to make is we all believe, and I think anybody can attest to, that Randy's probably one of the smartest assessors in the state of Iowa, probably in the Midwest. So this is no reflection on Randy at all. What I had hoped that we would get to is to have some kind of compensation study done next year, not this year obviously because we're past that, adopt some kind of salary increase. Unfortunately, I can't get to the 5 and the 5 because I don't think it's right when we're looking at everybody else's budget, but I do think that we ought to give something. I would try to negotiate something, as I've tried to do before, but I do want to get some kind of compensation study done the following year so that I think it's fair. Even if you look at the register, they compare everybody's salary except for the county assessor. And if you look at the median income for everybody's salary, your salaries are even higher than, let's say, the county attorney's office. So I think it's relevant to have, if you look at everybody's salary overall in your office. So that's why I think we need a study done. And really, I don't know why you're not part of the county anyway. It's been talked about for years, and sooner or later it's got to happen. So once again, I think you're top notch. It's no reflection on you or anybody in your office, your chief deputy or any staff. I just think it's the 5 and the 5 is too much this year.
Thank you.
And I just want to add, Randy, number one, I agree with Angela to some extent that you guys should have been included in the class comp study that we did, and that's on us. We should have had you guys included in the class comp study. That way we would have had data that shows all the comparisons and all that stuff that we didn't do. Anyway, I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you.
Just from a standpoint of, because I'm, I guess, newer to this, what is the process of the review process? And that should be on all of us if there's no formal review process. And I don't know if there was some, I know you made the recommendation or on the pay, but do we actually have a true review process? Again, do a great job, understand it, but I need it for my own information.
Review process of my office or what?
Or like, do we have a form that we actually review you on? Like, I mean, I know in the other boards I'm on, we do reviews where, whether you rank or whatever. So I don't know if there's a formal review process that you've ever had, or if this board is the one that's supposed to do it, or we just, I don't understand the process, I guess is what I'm asking.
To my knowledge, there's never been a formal review process. I've been here for over 40 years. Okay. So
Curious, because I know on the other boards I sit on, we have a formal review process the commissioners all do, so I didn't know if that was just something that they just never had done before here.
But that question came up at the first meeting too, but I think I answered that through an email, I think to Jackie Norris, where I'm
Yeah,
reviewing.
Randy, you did. Thank you for that. I think you did. I was just going to ask a question on that. So, and maybe we need to separate the two issues. It seems like there's a proposal on the table as it relates to the budget, but then there's some other recommendations, such as aligning maybe with Polk County or having a process where you're reviewed. Again, to say wonderful things, but that there's a review process. do we need to package all these things together? And that's really a question for colleagues in the room, or should we separate the two issues?
I think they're two separate,
Yeah.
issues. Right now, we're deciding on the compensation, which is one thing. So I just was bringing up from more my, so all of us in this group can understand what the process has been in the past.
You know, I tried to put that in my
Yeah,
email.
right. Okay.
Department of Revenue, the Director of Revenue oversees all assessors in Iowa by statute. And if we're not doing our, number one, to get appointed, it has to be approved by the Director of Revenue. To get reappointed, I have to get approved by the Director of Revenue.
Okay.
I have 150 hours of education I have to take every 6 years. 90 of those hours have to be tested, where I have to pass the test, 70%. Every year, they do a sales ratio study on our properties that have sold in our jurisdiction to see what level of assessment, the market value our properties are at. They also do a uniformity sale. They also do a horizontal equity sale to make sure higher valued homes are being appraised at the same level as your lower valued homes. So Department of Revenue, the Director of Revenue has a lot of oversight over assessors in general. I mean, I know they do kind of like on the supervisors, anybody involved in the property tax. I mean, so that's one thing. I also said at the last meeting, the public, they don't like my product, they can come in and appeal it. I mean, what other tax do you have the right to appeal the basis of that tax? Only the property tax, and it starts in our office, that whole formula. So the public, to me, that way, they're reviewing our work as well. You know, every 2 years, we have to reassess all property in our jurisdiction. Just happens 2025 is the reassessment year. Guess what? Next Monday, there's going to be about 190,000 assessment notices going out. So everybody get prepared.
Everybody should be happy.
And, yeah, real happy.
No, I was just curious, on
No.
who determines what percent and if a bonus, I guess I didn't know.
Well, historically, Connie, the county,
go
this
by what the
conference
county
board,
goes.
this conference board's always been really good to try
Okay.
to match what the county negotiates and signed off with the unions.
And what did the county negotiate this year?
3% for ASME, 4% for Teamsters, 3% for the non-bargaining employees.
Just, I was just curious.
Yeah.
So,
I do appreciate you bringing up the performance piece, though, because I will say the school board members did come together, and that is one piece that is moving forward going to be really important. It's a process that we take our superintendent through, and all of us do across the state. So that's a really important point, so I appreciate Mayor Bozen bringing it up.
So I've got a couple questions for you, Randy. As it relates to merit increases, in the past, you have indicated that you've never asked this board for a merit increase. Is that correct?
Yeah, being in a leadership position as Chief Deputy Assessor, started in 2007. 2014, I was appointed assessor. In those 18 years, I've never asked for a merit increase until this year. Never received a merit increase. I took cost of living adjustments only, each one of those years. You know, that's different than my employees and the county employees. My understanding with the county employees is there's a job title and there's a range in salary for that job title. For example, 80,000 to 120,000. If they're not maxed out on that range, then they have opportunity to get merit increases. Is that right, Tom? No. Okay, I'm sorry. No, every Can you give him the microphone?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Every classification in county government has it depends on whether they're contract covered. You can't count department directors, but they have a range and they have step increases annually, and then that range changes every time that we do an across the board increase. Say, as an example, if you're at you're at step 5 and you want to go in step 7 is the top end, you're still going to get a merit increase on your anniversary date, and then you'll get any across the board that changes the salary of that specific pay range. If that's
So like 3% this year?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, that's the way it's always worked, yeah.
okay. So is there a chance they get a raise over and above their anniversary date sometimes?
Well, just the across the boards. Yes,
Okay.
across the boards, we do 3% across the board, and if they're topped out, then they start with it, and see, say, for instance, we're looking at 3%, like we did earlier, they will still get that 3%, but the merit increase is the only way once they're at the top of the range.
And so I guess my next question is, what happened in 19, 20, and 21 in those years as it related to your salary?
That's a bit of why it hurts.
2021.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, 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 yeah. So what happened in fiscal years 2021 and 22? What, with respect to your COLA?
The county got 3% and my employees got 2.5%. So we lost 0.5% for 3 years in a row.
Okay,
And I'm probably to blame for part of that because my budget back then had to be done by March 15th. So a lot of times I had to get the process started before negotiations were done. Now, like you said, had a good idea what it might have been when it started negotiations, but, so part of that reason I went 5% for my employees is because I'm trying to play catch-up for those 3 years. And I thought when I first did this, I thought it was 4 years. I checked with Deb, it's only 3. So really, it's probably should be 4.5 instead of 5, playing catch-up.
okay. So how do you want to deal with this at this point? It's an open question.
You asking me?
No, I'm asking the conference here, what,
Proposed amendment to the rate?
yes.
And then secondly, should we allocate or ask for some funding to be set aside for a salary study?
Right.
I think I do, in this budget year right now? I think so, yes.
I move that we put money aside for a salary study, and would you mind working with our HR department, with McGrath or whoever, I forget their name.
McGrath.
Is it McGrath?
Yeah,
That's who did ours, or whomever you so choose, but work with our HR department to find somebody to do that,
Yes.
okay? I'm moving that.
Is it, friendly amendment, can we have it be the same group as that did Polk County with the idea that we're trying to better align the
That
assessor's
is-
office
that
with
is-
Polk County?
yeah,
It is
that is
Okay, great.
McGrath.
Thank you.
So again, restating the motion was that we set dollars aside for whatever the cost of the salary study through McGrath and Polk County Human Resources to study his current salary and any recommendations moving forward for both the, it would be for your whole department, for not only the director, but the deputy, as well as the rest of the department. Okay,
Just from a technical standpoint, I want to make sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's, but what item are we on? I'm confused as to what item we're on.
so we're actually on item 5.
Okay.
And this is an amendment to the,
Well, we're going to
to
amend,
the,
okay.
to the budget.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So, yeah, I I don't know that we're gonna know the cost today. Sure, sure. That's fine. If you want to put a cap on it,
Okay, let's not put a cap on it.
yeah. And we've already priced out a study, so I'm quite certain they can back into a cost that's,
Pretty reasonable.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Angela, you want me to take it out of the budget we're currently in right now?
Whatever you think,
24,
Randy.
25, or you want the budget we're voting on 25, 26? Well, it depends how
Whatever
much
you
it
wanna
is.
work it out.
Yeah.
I'll have money left over, but I just don't know how much it's gonna cost.
Once you get the costs, bring it back, and then we can take the, I guess, either approve or, and you can tell us if it fits within which budget.
How about if I try to take it out of this budget right now? If I'm not, I can take it out of next year's what I need to.
It would probably be ideally if you could take it out of this year's budget, so you can get it done faster.
There is.
No,
We're doing the amendment first.
No, there's an amendment to, yeah.
Angela's motions for the salary study work, hire with HR,
This budget.
yeah.
Is there a second for her motion? Okay, and there's a second. Let's do a roll call.
Holm? Allringer? Conley? Hawkinsmith? Yes. McCoy?
Yes.
Merrifield?
Yes.
Edwards? Yes. Boson? Yes. Karofsky? Yes. Andewig?
Yes.
Jones? Gott? Gott? Norris?
Yes.
Borman?
Yes.
Your motion carries.
Okay. All right, we are now back on item 5, which is adoption of the proposed budget for the Assessor's Office for fiscal year 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Is there a motion to adopt the budget?
I'll move it.
Is there a second? I'll second. Okay, let's do a roll call on this as well.
Holm? Yes. Allringer? Yes. Conley? McCoy?
Yes.
Edwards? Yes. Boson? Merrifield?
Yes.
Karofsky? Andewig?
Yes.
Jones? Gott?
Yes.
Norris?
It's really hard to hear. Is this for the 5 and 5?
Yes.
No.
Borman?
No.
So majority voted, supervisors voted yes. That's 1 vote for. All the mayors voted yes. That's 1 vote for. And 2 out of the 3 school boards voted no's. So motion carries 2 to 1.
Is there any new business to come before this board?
Yes, approximately a month ago, we had a board of review member unexpectedly pass away. So that leaves us with 9 board of review members. I checked with Dominic today. The law pretty much requires we need to have 10 members on that board of review. So in the last several weeks, trying to find people that would make the commitment to serve on that board, because remember, this year is a reevaluation year, so we got 2 months' worth of appeals. Month of May and the month of June, they're in here every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 12, listening to oral hearing appeals. We had several people that were very interested, they just didn't have time to make changes in their schedule in the month of May. Yes. Well, we have to have a quorum every day. Some people, some days you may have 7 or 8, but I do have one person, her name is Lori Adrians. She's a RE/MAX broker for 32 years. Her description is she's very smart, so that sounded really good to me. And she's very interested in it, willing to make the commitment. You know her, Connie?
I know
She's-
it too.
So that's one option. If you want to wait and get a bigger pool of people, we could certainly schedule another meeting sometime. And I tried like crazy. We had some really good people interested. They couldn't make it with their schedule.
Okay, so there's a motion to accept the nomination of Lori Andrazi for the unexpired term of Jane Vigers for the Board of Review. All those in favor will say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
What was that, 2 seconds?
Yeah, 2-second delay, yeah. Okay, at this time, I would, if there's no other business to come before us, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. All those in favor will say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.